The netherworld is a place inhabited solely by demons, monsters created from the depths of the abyss. The war between the world and the Demon King army has lasted many years. As the battle ensued, the Demon King readies his armies to cover the land with blood of his enemies. The sky is crimson with lighting pouring out of the sky. The Demon King proclaims that the start of a new world has begun, a world where all will know hell. Only the strong can survive. His servants are carefully listening to their master. They gladly wait for his orders. The Demon King wants the destruction of the entire world. He demands his minions to capture and return to him any survivors. Anyone who does will be rewarded for their efforts. He gives the command and the servants flee to start their mission. We soon see a dark Chrismon water in the middle of a white desert. A tiny creature pops its head off the lake and crawls its way to land. The creature is glad to be back on land, but it soon realizes that it has no clue on where it is or how it got there. Suddenly, a notification window pops up, giving all the information she needs to know. The notification window informs her name is Salvos. Salvos, a level 1 infant demon larva, she has been blessed with the abilities of identification and the skill of universal language comprehension. She has 5 stat points in vitality, strength, endurance, wisdom, and agility, and 5 extra available that she can use later. After learning about her talents and abilities, she starts to travel again, making her way through the desert. Salvos paces herself throughout the journey. She doesn't know how long she will continue crawling till she finds something. Her goal is to find answers about where she is. As she makes her way through the rocky terrain, she pokes herself on a rock. She jumps away, thinking that the rock is a monster. She was afraid that she might have to battle for her life. She relaxes once she realizes that it is not moving, and it doesn't seem to be much of a threat. Salvos does her best to find out what this object is. She paces around this boulder. She spends hours looking at this rock trying. Using all of his limited brain power, she gets a notification that it's just a rock. She got XP forming, staring at the rock, and she level ups. Her intensification skill went up to level 3, and now she is a level 2 lava demon. She hears a noise in the distance, and she turns around to look at what is making such a commotion. She saw something amazing. For the first time since she was born, she saw other larva demons. They each had unique colors, and they seemed like they were all heading somewhere. Salvos watched them, patently wondering where they were going. She made sure to keep her distance from the others. She started to stare at each one of them, abuse-serving how they looked. The first one she saw was red with black and yellow spots. The second one was all blue. The third was beige with only one eye. She notices that each of them are the same level as her. Out of nowhere, a large larva demon glowing with big whites stares at Salvos, intimidating Salvos. The larva demon turns out to be a cute, light blue larva demon. The larva demon ignites a flame on one of its tentacles. Salvos is wonderstruck by seeing the flame. Using her identification skill, she learns that the name of the attack is called Magical Fire. You can learn how to use mana when you upgrade your wisdom points. Salvos makes it her goal to learn magic. She looks at her status window and sees she has 5 wisdom points and decides to add 1 more point to make it 6. She blushes while looking up at the distance. There is a magical barrier net spreading across the sky. She then notices monsters around her start to look at something in the distance. She pushes her way past the crowd to look at what is happening. There is this giant creature staring back at everyone. It is also very high level. It's a level 5 infant demon. Salvos is shocked at what she is staring at. The level 5 infant demon had a stare down with the level 2 larva. The level 2 larva ignited a flame on its tentacle. Getting ready for a battle, the level 5 larva launched an attack, headbutted the level 2, slamming its head onto the ground, squishing the level 2 out of existence, extinguishing its flames. In that very moment, everything froze, with the fire extinguished and Salvos observing how the level 5 larva mercilessly eliminated her mentor. Salvos stared in shock watching what just happened. The air went silent. Salvos stared at the remains of what was left behind, black mud and a tiny flame. The rest of the larvas had mixed emotions, some were ready to jump into battle, some unsure if they should fight or if they should run away. Despite some other larvas choosing to stay to battle, they were swiftly defeated. falling victim to the ferocity of the wild level 5 larva. Blood splattered as he mercilessly decimated the smaller ones, leaving Salvos fearful and disheartened, believing they had no chance against him. Collecting her thoughts, she contemplated that their only chance of victory would be through unity. She recalled the one-eyed larva and began searching for him, only to find him attempting to escape. Meanwhile, the confident big one fought alone, effortlessly executing the smaller ones, leveling up to level 6 and growing even larger. Fear gripped everyone, including Salvos, as hope dwindled. Desperately, they all dashed away, but the big one intercepted them abruptly, inciting panic. The large monster moved at a faster speed than theirs. Salvos continued their frantic escape, but the level 6 larva collided with one of them, causing them to tumble and fall. Contemplating her next move, she spotted a flicker of hope, a flame with a brilliant blue path leading to a grid formation. The big larva charged forward, but she strategized how to defeat it using the power of the magical flame. While fighting with the little ones, Salvo seizes the opportunity to observe and study her abilities. As she almost conceives of an idea, she is suddenly interrupted by a larva being thrown at her head, causing her to stumble and collapse to the ground. Despite enduring intense agony, she perseveres and keeps rolling, never losing sight of the system window. Determined, she allocates her remaining stat points to enhance her wisdom. In a flash of lightning and a trail of vibrant blue, she composes herself and decides to emulate the actions of the female larva. Meanwhile, the big larva continues its relentless assault on the smaller ones, prompting Salvo to muster all her efforts in conjuring a blazing fire. Casting the Ignite skill, she swiftly charges towards the colossal larva, piercing through its abdomen and leaving behind a massive cavity. This triumphant strike marks her victory over the formidable demon, filling her with a profound sense of satisfaction. Finally, she has successfully mastered the art of creating magical fire, and her perseverance is rewarded with not only a newfound prowess, but also 3-level advancements in her journey. Salvos discovers 2 new skills at her current level of 5, accompanied by additional skill and stat points. Notably, she gains proficiency in general skills like basic mana manipulation and basic fire conjuration. Overwhelmed with accomplishment, Salvo is rendered speechless by her newfound abilities. Suddenly, her attention is drawn to a red larva that locks eyes with her, filling her with fear and trepidation. Seeking answers, she musters the courage to ask the larva its intentions. However, receiving no response, Salvo decides to walk away, leaving the encounter unresolved. After defeating the formidable demon, Salvo becomes fixated on one goal: to grow stronger and reach higher levels. Each level gained brings a sense of fulfillment and wholeness. With 3 new skills at her disposal, she discovers an innate ability akin to identification, aiding her in her leveling journey. Throughout her travels, Salvo encounters wild infant demons who attack her without reason, much like the larger demon she vanquished. Though unfazed by their assaults, she realizes that defeating these demons only serves to bolster her own strength. However, a persistent issue arises as she finds herself being followed. While about to engage in combat with a wild demon, the red larva unexpectedly intervenes and claims the kill. Initially indifferent to its presence, as it seemed harmless and accompanied by non-hostile companions, Salvo allowed the red larva to follow her. Yet during subsequent battles, the larva consistently interferes and steals her kills, resulting in diminished experience gains. This constant annoyance prompts Salvo to distance herself from the larva, as she is confident in her ability to fight alone and believes she does not require assistance. During the allocation of her stats, Salvo attempts to evade the red larva, seeking to regain control over her experience gains and maintain her independent fighting style.